Hi, everyone. Thank you for once again listening and watching my Conversation with Friends Season 2. And we are now in episode 5. And I have the privilege of introducing a new friend of mine from the Train the Trainer of Jack Canfield. Uh, Parizad lives in New Jersey, but originally came from Mumbai. And I'll let her tell you her story. And and I'm very, very excited to converse with her today. So, Parizad, can you please introduce yourself?
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Penny. It's so wonderful to be here with you and your all of your friends listening in. And yeah, thank you for having me. So I'm Parizad. As you mentioned, live in New Jersey in Montvale, which is 45 minutes from New York City. So we're right in the center of all of the COVID action right now. And as you mentioned, I grew up in Mumbai, in India, and I have been here for the last 20 years. And I'm a financial consultant by profession, and then also now a certified success principles trainer. And I have to say, I enjoy what I do very, very much with the financial consulting, but adding this layer of being a trainer in Jack Canfield's work and then teaching the success principles has brought an elevated level of joy and purpose in my life, which I have really enjoyed. So in a sense, these last few months have been, of course, very hard for all of us and
Mm-hmm.
for the planet. And simultaneously, for on a personal level, it's been a wonderful time for my personal growth and for the flourishment of this part of my business, which is teaching the principles. So it's been a bittersweet time.
So, you're a financial consultant. How has your business been affected with this with this lockdown? I call it lockdown. With this
Yeah,
event.
lockdown, shutdown, yeah, social distancing. I mean, we've been fortunate enough that we've been in this business for the last 20 years, so we have established clients. So there haven't been any new clients, I'll tell you that. It's
Mm-hmm.
harder to kind of be getting in new clients when you're not meeting people one-on-one. However, the established clients have stayed actually. In fact, it's a hard time for many people and they need additional support with financial planning and where to invest and how to kind of relook at their plans and their saving models and helping a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people with their loans. So it's kind of in that sense been busier for the existing clients. And as I was sharing with you before, a lot of the work I do with my clients, especially the one-on-one clients, is talking to them about also manifesting money, manifesting
Yes.
abundance. So it's not only about how you manage the money you have, but how do you invite money into your life
Yes.
and embrace it and let go of limiting beliefs that kind of sometimes stop you from embracing wealth and,
Uh-huh.
and, and abundance. And so that work has really kind of grown in a sense in this time because something like this brings up a lot of fear and brings up a lot of negative beliefs. And so it's really been wonderful working with my clients and in helping them kind of see how they can let go of that. And many of them have taken the workshop as a result of it as well, which has been wonderful because then they're getting the full picture of responsibility and finding their purpose and vision,
Mm-hmm.
setting goals, So it's been good in that
Exciting.
way. It's been very exciting. Yes.
So, in your financial consulting, you do the the success principles workshop as well, or
So I don't. I have been informally before I got certified. I would just because of my love for this subject, I would kind of share my own experience and how it's worked for me, and talk about vision boards and show them my vision board, and kind of do it informally. And then actually talking to one of my clients that and they're saying you should really be teaching this material as well. And I was like, I really should. And so that's when I got certified. So my financial clients are, my job with them is really to work with their financial situation at their companies or in individuals. And then the workshops I give are separate, but many of my clients have taken the workshop, which has been
okay.
great.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question, because I did a workshop yesterday on Zoom with breakout rooms and all those things,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
and we talked about the 100% responsibility for our
Mm.
lives. And I did the, if I were to take 5% more responsibility,
Right.
do you remember that?
Absolutely. Yes.
If I were to take 5% more responsibility for my financial well-being at this time of crisis, I would
Mm-hmm.
fill in the blank.
Mm-hmm.
So if you were to advise your clients, or what are some of the simple suggestions on how they can take 5% more responsibility for their financial well-being in this time of
Mm.
crisis, what would you advise?
Such a great question. I love it. Several things. One would be create a budget,
Mm-hmm.
create your own, even if it's just your household budget, just to know what your expenses are and what your income is, and are you saving money. So just do that work. For many people, they may not actually know how much they spend. So track your expenses, or enroll for something like QuickBooks online, or personal capital, and they can help you kind of track your expenses, just so that you're aware of what you're spending. Because once you're aware, once you're conscious of where you're spending, where your money is going, then you can make conscious decisions on if you wanted to go there or if you wanted to go somewhere else. So you want to align your expenses with your priorities in life.
Okay.
Um, so that's another one. And then get out of debt. So start looking at consolidating your debt. I mean, that can give you many, many more, but there's a few.
Yes. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. What about those who, there's a lot of people, I watch the news, I watch
Mhm.
CNN, Fox, and NBC. I get confused with the views of all these American
Yeah,
journalists.
quite
And
contradictory sometimes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's not sometimes, it's every day,
All the time.
all the time. And so many people are jobless. So
Mm,
how can they take responsibility for their financial well-being when they can't even feed themselves? I know there's unemployment.
yeah.
What can they do?
Yeah, no, I think first, as you just mentioned, make sure you're taking advantage of all of the government aid that is available, especially if you live in the United States, because we're one of the few countries that has been made available. I know there's so many countries who don't have that advantage, and they really are in that scenario really going through a hard time. So
Yes.
we have unemployment, we have SBA loans, we have there's so many avenues that the government has given. So definitely invest the time in applying for those. And the second thing is just, again, as I was mentioning, relook at your expenses. Like
Okay.
really look at where is it that you're spending your money, and ask that simple question: is this in alignment with my priorities in life? You
Okay.
say you find yourself spending 10% of your income um, on entertainment, is fine, but is that where you want it to go? Or if you find yourself spending 20% of your income on eating out, that's okay if that's where you want it to go, but are you consciously doing that?
Yes.
So it's just a matter of being conscious about it.
Okay. Thank you for that, because that's a good advice for me as well.
Yeah.
No, because
It's for all of us.
a,
We all do it.
a friend of mine is also a financial advisor of one of the insurance companies here, and she was giving, she was telling me a webinar that they have attended, that there's no amount of money now for retirement, no amount of
Mm,
money, because
mm,
things like this happen.
mm.
And I don't know what that means, but I'll chat with her and find out. Maybe we need to follow our passion until we die and earn from that passion,
Yeah.
right?
I think if you do follow your purpose and you follow your passion, I'm sure you agree with me. The universe really has a way of finding you resources and finding you people and finding you ideas and finding you, even financial resources to help you fulfill that dream and build your base, if you want to
Yes.
call it that. So I think this work of really looking at manifesting what you want in life and getting really clear on what that is a huge step in the right direction. And spending this time when you have some downtime or when you aren't able to do your daily job, to really say, okay, how am I investing this time, to use the word investing the time
Yes.
well
Mm.
in for my future. There's a beautiful saying that when the fishermen can't go out in the water, they fix their nets.
Yes.
So spend this time in a way that helps you grow in your wisdom, in your knowledge, in getting things done that you've been piling up. Because when you have all of these different projects that you haven't worked on and they're piling up, they take away from your brain space. They take attention away from you. So get those done, and then do those things that you've always wanted to do. Write that book, or complete that degree, or
Yes.
work on yourself, do that workshop that you've been meaning to do. So really take this time to help yourself grow, to be, when you leave, when we come out of this, you are a stronger person, a more knowledgeable person, a more confident person, a more your personal state, your spiritual uh,
Yes.
you know um, upbringing, or state. Are you investing in your own self, as well? So that's been actually one of the biggest gifts of this time for me, is because I'm not rushing as much in the morning, because I
Mm-hmm.
have two teenage girls, and usually I'm rushing them off to school, but now I'm not. And I've given myself that half an hour, which I usually spend doing that, and saying, now I can establish my meditation practice. I'm
Yes.
going to give myself this time. And it's become a habit. And I know now, even when school starts again, that I love that practice so much that I'm going to hold on to it. It's become a habit. So, yeah, that's been one of the biggest gifts for me, I have to say.
Okay, and many of us have had so many realizations over this past few months, and many of us have even been busier
Yeah,
because the commute time has been more productive. No more commutes.
yeah, yeah.
So, how is it now in Jersey, in New Jersey, the city, or where you are from? Has it
Where I
eased?
am.
Has it eased up already?
In a very small way. They recently opened up the parks again so that we can go on
Oh,
our
wow.
hikes and walks again, which is lovely. And we are the garden city, so we do have a lot of beautiful gardens and state parks, and that's been wonderful. And I was just sharing earlier with you how grateful I am that we live in a place which has so much beautiful nature, and that we have the space and the comfort to be able to partake in nature, especially now as
Yeah.
spring is finally coming. Even though we had snow a few days ago, but spring is finally coming, and it's really great to be part of nature. But other than that, everything's closed. Schools are closed, businesses are closed, transportation, of course, all of the theaters and the nail salons and the hair salons, and my husband's hair is getting to a point where I'll have to do that haircut.
Yeah.
um, so definitely all of the amenities that we're used to
Still
are
closed.
not functioning. Having said that, both the girls are in online school and doing well, and we are able to go to get our groceries. I mean, the long lines are longer, and it takes
Yeah.
takes longer, but it's available. So lots to be grateful for.
Mm-hmm.
And we're blessed to be living in a home which has space, so it's not like we're all cooped up. So there's so much to be grateful for, and we've all actually really enjoyed having family dinners and game nights and those kinds of things which we didn't do as much before.
Wow.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So still a little bit more freedom, but it's not the same because I
Oh
know
no,
that New York and New Jersey has the one of the highest rates
we do,
cases.
and especially because we're so close to New York City. We're actually the first town. We're right on the border of New York and New Jersey, so we're one of the first towns in New Jersey. So yeah, so
Oh,
we're very red zone affected for sure.
the only place I know that's near New Jersey, that's near New York, is Willbrook.
I mean, as you know, we have a long border that we share,
Yeah,
so there's lots
yeah,
of little towns along
yeah,
the way.
yeah. Oh, Willbrook. Anyway, I love Jersey. I love Jersey.
And
Okay.
look forward to having you one day, very soon.
Yes, yes, it will happen.
It will happen.
Okay, so question for you is, this is happening all over the world, all
Mm.
over, and no one is spared. I think there are 191 countries and 188 has been affected. I don't know the three countries that have not. Maybe
Yeah.
it's North Korea. Maybe we just don't know.
Yeah.
But how can you stay optimistic knowing not knowing what tomorrow will be? How,
Yeah.
and that's what we teach. How can we teach them to stay optimistic?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's such an important time to practice persistence, and practice resilience, because this, as you said, this event is happening for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And in the workshops we talk about this formula E plus R equals O. The
Yep.
event plus your response creates the outcome, and so it's one of those rare scenarios in this world where the event is the same for everyone,
Exactly.
globally, and the outcome that you will experience is a result, therefore, directly on how you respond to the situation that we're all experiencing. And so your power is in your response, and you
Mm-hmm.
have complete control over your response. The thoughts you think, the way you behave, the images you give your mind. And so what you believe, and what you believe is entirely up to you. So you're in control of your thoughts, and you decide what you want to think about. So whenever negative thoughts come up, you can choose to consciously think about a better feeling, a better thought. And it takes practice, it takes work to work like that, creating your affirmations and really investing that time in thinking positively, because this basically is the law of the universe. The what you're thinking about, what you're really giving your attention to, what you're giving your focus to, is what it's going to come back to you. So really consciously doing that over and over again. And as I was sharing with you, it's been something that I have experienced over and over again in my life throughout um, my childhood years as well. And I share this with my children as well when
Uh-huh.
they're going through that kind of a slumpy time. Is like, well, where are you putting your focus? And they too have had so many experiences of just manifesting and attracting good things, as a result of whatever the situation may be. So replacing your negative thinking with positive beliefs, I think, is the main one.
Okay. But I've heard that in the US that, domestic violence, because of the domestic violence, people are stuck
Mm,
home,
mm,
and it's getting worse because
yeah.
they can't go out, no? So if you are positive and you have a partner that's negative,
Mm.
how do you handle that?
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a really hard situation, isn't it? And I always kind of wonder how people come into that scenario in the first place, where if you think about taking 100% responsibility for your situation in life, then how have you allowed this to happen, or promoted, or unconsciously kind of um, allowed this to happen in your life? And then what can you do to disengage? And of course there's so much fear associated with this.
Yeah.
If I let go of this man, who's, even though he's abusing me, then how will I financially
Mm.
survive, or what will happen to my children? And these are all very valid fears, of course. um, but I think if you're going to if you want to move into it, if you see your life as something bigger and
Bigger.
more different and happier, then you have to take those risks in getting
Yes.
out of your comfort zone and saying,
Yes.
it's not, I mean, we can say for sure it's not going to be easy, but in the long run it is going to
Yes.
be better for your life. So what are those steps you can take to stand up for yourself, to make your life better, to reach out for help? It's not about doing it all by yourself. Who can you ask for help? um, how can you take the support of the world around you? But
Okay.
yeah, of course it's a very, very hard situation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you did say it's your control. You are in control of your life. So if you If you allow it to happen, it will happen. And the
Mm-hmm.
manifestation, I think that's one of the important things.
Yeah.
Manifest positive things, and positive
Yeah.
things will happen to you, right?
Absolutely. I mean, if you keep telling yourself I don't deserve love or I'm not worthy of, then you're creating more of that in your life. And so if you can, even if you're just saying it without even, even if it takes a time to start really believing it, even if you just started saying the opposite, the positive of of these statements, switching them around,
Mm-hmm.
then and slowly with time you start kind of imagining yourself there and visualizing yourself there, even if it's not your current reality. If you start seeing like almost a movie of your future like that, it's almost magical how things and people and situations change, and you can start building that in your life. So that's what I would advise as I mean, I'm not a psychologist, but this is from my own experience. I
Mm-hmm.
can share it. That's how it has worked for me.
Okay.
um, yeah.
Yeah, and that's good. And the I we know for a fact that we are in control, and sometimes the thoughts that we think about, like, I deserve this, I
Hmm.
attracted him to me, and all the negative, the limiting beliefs, as you said, all the
Hmm.
negative self talks.
Yeah,
And that is, again, what we teach, how to get
absolutely.
out of those limiting beliefs. So,
Yeah.
you know, we do hope and pray that this won't happen to our children's children, and that we find a vaccine. I was just listening to one of the US news that there might be several vaccines for this. There might be a vaccine for children, vaccine for, different kinds of vaccines. But still, there's no timetable,
And
because
nothing is immediate, right? Yeah.
yes, nothing is immediate, because if they discover one today and they roll it out tomorrow, I don't want to get that vaccine if it hasn't
No,
been
I'm like,
tested.
my kids aren't getting that vaccine. They're not going to be the guinea pigs. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not going to be the guinea pigs for that. So
Yeah. Yeah.
we just have to wait. So
Yeah.
the
I
time will
think
come.
if we just have to embrace, I think that's one of the things I've been contemplating is not resisting this and saying, when is it going to go away, or when is it going to stop, or I can't wait for this to all be over. Of course, we all want life to be back to normal. And yet, if we can embrace that this change has happened, that this is not a minor thing, this is something that has landed, and has created change in our lives globally. And that if we can embrace that change and look at how can we look at life anew, how can we refresh the way we're looking at our work, or the way we're going to study, or what we're going to do with our lives, what is our purpose now. A lot of people are shifting their purpose. A lot
Mhm.
of children are wanting to study medicine when they were initially wanting to study something else. So there's a lot of shift that this time is bringing, and if you can embrace it, and if you can look at it as something positive that is going to bring happiness to you in the future,
Yes.
then it probably will.
Oh,
But if you're blocking it too much, then all you're left with is fear. So yeah, I think for me it's really been about like, how do I embrace this new way of being.
I love what you said about reflecting and being able to know the shift in your life. Well, or possibly a temporary shift, or possibly a permanent shift.
I
So,
think some things will stay permanent,
mhm,
and then some things will go back to
yes.
the way they used to be, but certain things will stay permanent, and it may not be a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Certain
Definitely.
disciplines, yeah.
Yes, definitely hand washing is a discipline that we should have had a long, 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 long time ago.
Yeah, yeah.
We've been teaching our children, wash your hands, and
And
always.
also, I think for me, like spending time with your family, like it's okay to be that, we're a family of four, like that foursome, to have that, um, invest that time. Like
Uh-huh.
it's something that is so important now because it's only the four of us. And so we depend on each other more than we did before. I especially see that with my teenage girls and me. And I really appreciate that. Like I'm building a friendship with them at a deeper level than perhaps I would have um,
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. That's good.
hold on to that.
Yeah. Hold on to that. Uh, create those memories while we're in this time of crisis,
Mm,
because
mm.
those memories, once they're out again, that's gone. But now that we're all in just one place, you we will have and take a lot of pictures because this
Yeah.
this may never have this will never pray that this will never happen again,
Yeah, yeah.
so again,
There may be a few things we miss about it.
yeah, so create those memories while we can, and these are
One
the
thing I've really
memories that
been
last.
focusing on actually since the new year, but definitely since March hit, was gratitude. And we teach this as well about keeping a gratitude journal. And what I try and do is write every day what extraordinary thing happened today, and I do
Mhm.
journal about that, because then you can see the extraordinary in these ordinary, or in a sense, in a they are extraordinary days.
Mm,
But what extraordinary thing happened to you in this time, and just being grateful for what you do have, because
yes.
yes, there's so many things that have been taken away, but there's so much we still have, and so much that we've been given as part of this time. So that's been something I've really enjoyed doing, is keeping this gratitude journal every single day.
Hmm. Yes,
Yeah.
that's a practice that many of us have instilled, and even before the secret came out, the many successful people have already said that.
Mm-hmm.
Practice gratitude, be grateful always for the things that we have. Don't look for the things that we don't have, and be grateful for the things that we have. So that's really, really important.
No,
Okay,
gratitude, as they say, gratitude gives you more things to be grateful for.
yeah. And I always say, I always end my workshops with, the more grateful you are, the more blessings come your way.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I'm grateful that you're here with me today. I'm grateful
I'm
that
so grateful to be here with you today.
I'm grateful that we have developed this friendship.
Me too, Penny. Thank
and, and
you.
and one day we shall meet in New York. That I promise.
Absolutely. I would love to have you over, and we'll make some chai and samosas and have a good time.
Oh yeah, I love Indian food. Just don't make it so spicy.
Okay, I won't make it too spicy, promise.
Okay. Any last parting words or reflections, that something that you'd like to share to our friends and viewers for this conversation?
Absolutely. We've talked about finance and we've talked about gratitude, so I'll put those two together. Whatever you appreciate, appreciates.
Oh, I like that. I like that. Whatever you appreciate, appreciates. Yes. Okay. And now I'm thinking about money and other things as well.
Wonderful. May it appreciate.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you very much for spending this time with me. I know it's your evening and it's my morning, and the kids over at the orphanage across the street, there's an orphanage across the street, across our
Oh,
house.
uh-huh.
They stopped singing. So their morning praises have finished.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
But
it's
I'm
the
sure it was
morning.
very sweet to listen to.
Yeah. I've been living in this house since I was born. So I've never
Mm.
moved. And it's only now that they've been here for about 10 years. It's only now that I appreciate the music. Before
Mm.
I was listening to noise, and now
Mm.
I'm hearing the music.
Mm. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. That's so beautiful.
So thank you very much for being here with me today. And I'm grateful to you, and hopefully we can chat again soon.
I would love that. And thank you. Thank you, Penny, for having me. It's been so wonderful.
Okay, thank
Bye
you. Bye.
bye.